You've been doing everything right. You started your SIPs. You stayed disciplined. You believed time would do the heavy lifting. And yet, your money feels stuck. What if the real problem isn't how much you're investing, but a set of hidden traps almost every investor unknowingly falls into? Everyone talks about SIPs as the golden ticket to wealth. But that's only the surface. Beneath the numbers and charts lies an unseen layer. Silent forces quietly draining your progress, stretching timelines, and keeping your so-called million-rupee goals permanently out of reach. The dangerous part? These traps don't look like mistakes. They look like responsible financial behavior. And while you remain unaware of them, time, the very thing you're relying on, keeps slipping away. In this video, we're not talking about investing more or chasing higher returns. We're exposing the invisible barriers that slow even disciplined investors, and what actually needs to change if real wealth is ever going to happen. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people don't fail at investing because they don't invest. They fail because real life doesn't behave like a calculator. Every SIP projection assumes a perfectly smooth journey. No breaks, no fear, no emergencies, no temptation. But real life is messy. Salaries stall. Expenses spike unexpectedly. Parents age. Children arrive. Health takes priority. And every time life interrupts your investing flow, compounding quietly loses momentum. Not dramatically, not obviously, just enough to delay everything by years. This is the first invisible trap, the illusion of uninterrupted consistency. On paper, a 12% return for 25 years looks inevitable. In reality, very few investors stay invested cleanly for even 15. They pause SIPs during stress. They reduce amounts during uncertainty. They restart later, telling themselves they'll make it up. But compounding doesn't make up for lost time. It only compounds what actually stayed invested. Now comes the second trap. The one nobody likes to talk about. Taxes. Not just income tax, not just capital gains tax, but the quiet tax on your lifestyle. Every raise feels like progress, but part of it disappears immediately. A slightly bigger house, a slightly better car, more expensive groceries, higher school fees. None of this feels reckless. It feels reasonable. But here's the problem. Your SIP might double over 10 years, but your cost of living often does the same, faster. So while your investments grow, your financial finish line keeps moving further away. This is why many people earn more than ever and still feel no closer to financial freedom. Not because they lack discipline, but because lifestyle inflation compounds too, just in the opposite direction. The third trap is psychological and deeply ingrained. Delayed gratification without a clear end. You're told to sacrifice today for a better tomorrow. So you postpone joy. You postpone comfort. You postpone life. But later is vague. At 30, later means 40. At 40, later means retirement. At retirement, later means preserving capital. Many people reach their financial targets, exhausted, cautious, and unsure how to actually enjoy what they built. The plan worked, but the person executing it burned out. Money was supposed to buy freedom. Instead, freedom was deferred indefinitely. This isn't about spending irresponsibly. It's about understanding that wealth is not just a number. It's the ability to choose. While time still matters, the fourth trap is subtle and almost never discussed. Over-optimization. Too many funds, too many strategies, too many tweaks, factor funds, sector rotation, rebalancing rules, market timing experiments. Each decision feels smart in isolation. Together, they create fragility. Because the more complex your system becomes, the harder it is to stick with when stress arrives. The best investors don't win by making better decisions every year. They win by making fewer decisions overall. They automate, they simplify, they remove themselves from the process. Because emotion is the true enemy of compounding. Now let's talk about a trap that doesn't look financial at all. Time distortion. People massively underestimate how long wealth actually takes. A crore sounds life-changing, but stretched across decades, it's far less dramatic than people imagine. When expectations are unrealistic, frustration builds quietly, and frustration leads to dangerous behavior. Chasing returns, switching funds too often, abandoning strategies that were actually working. Not because the plan failed, but because patience ran out before compounding revealed itself. Most people don't quit investing because it didn't work. They quit because it didn't work fast enough. There's another silent factor most investors ignore. Opportunity cost of safety. Stability feels good. Predictable income feels responsible. But staying too long in comfort can cost more than taking calculated risk. Not market risk. Career risk. Skill stagnation. Income ceilings. Fear of switching paths. Many people focus intensely on optimizing investments, while ignoring the largest variable in the equation, their earning potential. A higher income doesn't guarantee wealth, but a capped income almost guarantees slower progress. So what actually changes the game? Not investing harder, not chasing better returns, but designing a system that works with human behavior, not against it. Real wealth grows when income increases faster than lifestyle. Investments run with minimal interference. Decisions reduce over time. Goals adapt to real life instead of resisting it. Wealth isn't built by intensity. It's built by endurance. Here's the truth most people never hear. The system isn't broken. It rewards patience, simplicity, and long timelines. What breaks people is expecting extraordinary results from ordinary behavior. without accounting for life's interruptions. Once you understand these traps, money stops feeling mysterious, progress stops feeling invisible, and wealth stops feeling reserved for someone else. Because now, you're not fighting the market. You're not fighting compounding. You're fighting friction. And once friction is removed, time finally starts working for you instead of against you. If this changed how you think about investing, you're already ahead of most people. Not because you found a better strategy, but because you learned how to stay in the game long enough for wealth to actually arrive.